We'll go ahead and get started. And I want to say again, thank you so much for coming. I have a very good friend who is a comedian in New York City. And his parents moved out of Hudson a long time ago, and they moved out to Long Island. And now they live in New York as well. And he says he hates doing stand-up when his parents are in the room because most of the jokes are about them. So today's presentation, during the presentation, usually when I'm talking about Mosier Media, I tell a story or two about starting the business in the back of my dad's warehouse. Well, now my dad is here, so he'll get to hear the story as I do it in front of everybody. There's no roasting or jokes or anything like that. It's all very serious. But again, thank you for coming. And what I want to do is a very brief presentation, perhaps even first talking about my good friends, the LaGuardias. And they're our co-sponsor today. They helped to make this happen. And they own a company called Repros Color. And they print all kinds of very cool things, some banners or signs or other things you might have seen around town. And so if you're looking at this over here, this is a video that we shot at their shop. And we're working on a big production video similar to some of the other things we do. But we thought we would just cut together a few scenes, a behind-the-scenes look at their operation. So that's what you're looking at over here. And this is on a loop, so you'll see in a moment when this is over, you'll actually see pictures of signs and banners and things that Repros has printed. So very cool, and I'm glad they're a part of us. And Lou LaGuardia and Anthony LaGuardia here from Repros, thanks for being here. Let's start with this over here. This is a video we did for Paladar Restaurants, and what they wanted to do was have a video that as they open new restaurants around the country, they could recruit new employees. And all the good employees are already employed somewhere. So the idea is as they come into Rockville, Maryland, or into Tyson's Corners, wherever they're going to open a restaurant, they need to entice people to leave wherever they're working and come work at Paladar. They want the best of the best employees. So what they said to us was, can you make a video that captures the essence of our operation? And we did it through interviews with their staff. They have a beautiful restaurant, the first restaurant they opened up in Chagrin Boulevard, and we spent a couple of days shooting up there. We did interviews with the owner, interviews with the staff. It's on our website. In the interest of time, I won't get into playing each one of them, certainly, but I'll give you a sense of what we did. And certainly, we were able to take all the interviews and footage, and they have two things now. They have a video on their website that's all about Paladar, and then they have one for employee recruiting. So when you're shooting video, certainly as we all do, as we all produce projects, we think, okay, if we're going to take a picture or if we're going to shoot video, we want to repurpose it. If we're going to spend money to go out and acquire an image or an interview or something that's going to promote our business, what other ways can we use it? It's the same message, perhaps. How can we use the same shoot, the same footage, a couple of different presentations? That's how you can really maximize your photography and video production budget. We're very excited to be doing work for Sterling and Kay Jewelers. And we're doing some photography and video work for them, and we're very excited to be getting into the area of commercial photography. And why not? Because we bought all these DSLR cameras. We own them. We have clients saying, hey, can you shoot pictures for us along with video? And at first we're like, no, we're a video production company. Why would? So we started doing this many years ago. If the client says, hey, we would like to take pictures while the product is here. We're on the location. The lighting is perfect. We went to all this work to set up this machine for video purposes. Can we take pictures while we're there? Again, with the idea that you take that one amount of planning and all the budget that goes into getting everything there, let's do photography also. So we're very excited to be getting into the world of commercial photography along with video production. So for Sterling, we have been doing video work for their YouTube channel at Kay Jewelers, and we've also been doing product photography for their gold.com website. So very exciting stuff there. Why don't we take a look at some stuff we did with Neomed. This particular video here, what they're going for and what clients ask us a lot, they keep bringing up the term shareability. When it comes to the world of YouTube, the idea is they want to create content that people would be interested in sharing through social media. So this particular title is aimed at brides, how to shoot your jewelry at your wedding. So what we did was we had four of the area's best wedding photographers. We picked them based on we had wedding photographers submit pictures. And Ken Love, he's a character. But then Sterling went through, and Kate Jewelers folks went through and picked what they thought were the best wedding pictures. And they said, we want these four photographers to speak on a video that would appeal to brides. So that the bride, as she's planning her wedding or talking to her photographer, they might share this. And so they put it up, and it was very successful, and they got quite a bit of traffic. I always like the client that says, we want to make a video that's going to go viral. As soon as you say, I want it to go viral, it's already not funny at all. I mean, the funniest things are certainly when the ice bucket falls on the person's head and then they just fall over, or the bucket hits them and causes injury. That's a lot funnier than anything you could ever plan. Right? All the viral videos. I love it when if somebody in your world says, we want to produce a video that's going to go viral, it already isn't going to happen. Right? We were thrilled when Neomed came to us and asked us to produce a video to celebrate 40 years of Neomed. And they had a brand change and a name change and this, that, and the other. And where we're trying to position Mosier Media, what we're going for is not to get every video job out there, but to get the video job where somebody really wants to plan something out. They really want to put a lot of time and thought into pre-production. And not that we don't love the jobs, hey, can we shoot this tomorrow? We love it, we do it, it's the way it goes. But where we're really trying to focus, let's say, is on video work that is cinematic. Video work that doesn't look like video. And certainly I'm very passionate about video, and anytime somebody is using video to promote their business on any level, even if the budget is $100 or a million, video is an awesome tool. But what we're really going for is to be producing videos that are really well planned out. And these are hard to find, quite honestly. It's a challenge. A lot of in the world of communications, and especially in the world of social media, it needs to be short, sweet, and timely. There are companies, and Kent State University is an example. I have a good friend that works in social media at Kent State University. And the reason they hired a journalist is because they wanted to arm their YouTube channel and their social media with things that were happening today. Social media, obviously, I'm a video guy here. What do I know about social media and marketing and all this other stuff, right? I just know what I hear from people. What he said was that in order for his videos to work, it has to be something that happened just now. It can't be something that, we shot it, then we, took a week and edited, and then we did, years ago we used to go to NASCAR races for Goodyear and come back to Akron with all the footage, spend a week or two cutting it together, and it was used to show all of the executives at Goodyear how exciting racing is, and this is what the PR team did there, and this is why we were involved in racing, and it's within the company, internal communication. It was a real rah-rah video to say this is why Goodyear's involved in NASCAR. Now, that footage is edited Sunday night in the hotel room after the race is over, and it's on YouTube within an hour or two after the race is over. And that's the video, obviously, and the communications going in all these different directions. So very hard to say, okay, we want to be the kind of company that does planned out cinematic. Very, very difficult thing. Let's pop in the, what do we have, Mosier Medical? Can I show that for a second? All right. Now, when I invited you, I didn't think that I didn't think that I'd remember that we're doing the video for Mosier Medical. But it's a good example, and it speaks to the point that no matter what level you're doing a video is still a powerful tool. It is a great tool. And there's nothing wrong at all, even though I don't want to be in this business, there's nothing wrong at all with taking an iPhone and grabbing some piece of video, if it's a social media world or the YouTube world, or you're a small business, wants to make a video, and they don't have a huge budget. While that's queuing up, this is a very cool thing we did here. I'll just distract from the changeover on the monitor over there. Getting back to Repro's color, this is the section of the video where you may have seen some of these banners and displays around town, but we have a whole a collection on this particular video of different things that they've produced, and very cool to be checking all of that out. What we're going to show here, I loaned Dan Caton at Mosier Medical a camera so that we could do a quick demonstration of a piece of machinery. And for that particular video, That's all we needed to do. That's all he wanted to do. The YouTube channel at Mosier Medical just needed to show a quick in-service on how the X-ray machine works. That's all it needed to be. And certainly, we're okay with that. We got to, no pressure. But the reason I show this is because there are a lot of video producers out there with DSLR cameras. There's a lot of companies that are setting up in-house video production, and we just have a DSLR camera. And this is, so I actually show this just as a quick example of what it is when you take a DSLR camera and you go in and you do some handheld and very little editing, but you just need to do a quick equipment demonstration. This is an example of a $1,200 Canon T4i purchased at Best Buy. And I love to show this for comparison purposes. There's a lot of this going out in the world. Nothing wrong with this, right? But believe it or not, there are some circumstances where we have to come in and explain why we might want to spend a lot of money to do a big shoot or prepare for a big shoot and bring in a big camera crew and bring in lighting equipment and all of that. But let me say it again, there's nothing wrong with companies that have in-house production facilities and they do really nice video or video that looks like video. Nothing wrong with it at all. It's still effective. Video is still a great tool, no matter. You know, there are some circumstances where people are out in a factory or in some location and they grab a quick piece of video of some install happening. And it was in Alaska at Goodyear did this, where there was an engineer who was there and they were showing how the rubber part was being installed. And there's no way you'd have the time, but he just grabbed a 10-second piece of video of this particular thing being installed. And of course, how else are you going to acquire that? So it's a video out of an iPhone. But the reason I show this is it's a pretty good way to say, okay, here's something that's produced with higher production value. Here's lighting and multiple cameras and all kinds of things happening over here. And then over here, Canon T4i, handheld. We just did a quick video. It's up on the YouTube channel. And the people that need to understand how this piece of equipment works, we're very happy with this. Not what we do, but it goes on, and nothing wrong with that. If I could, I'd like to talk for just 1 second about Jumpstart Video Productions. There's a lot of, certainly in the video production or in the communications world, there is a need to video record speeches and events and things as they happen. Somebody will call you and say, hey, we need to record an event. We need to record a speech. And I am very glad to have Jumpstart Video Productions as an option that I can offer. When a small business wants to make a video, maybe a small business wants to do a video like this, and it's going to be for their YouTube channel or for just showing to a very limited audience. So there's no need to spend $5,000 or $10,000 making a video. Jumpstart Video Productions is an excellent option. And I present that quite a bit. If I could tell some quick stories just for fun. I started the business in 1992. I was very lucky to get involved with the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company in '93 or so, and we've been working with them ever since. And working with that crew is what led to our passion for corporate video. And in about 1997 or 98, I had an opportunity to get in with Time Warner Cable and produce TV commercials for folks that wanted to go on cable. And they had a budget of about $500 or $600 or $700 or $800 to produce a local TV commercial. And the way we used to do it, and this is a lot of fun, I would come in with a camera similar to this kind of setup. So let's say it's 99 or 2000 or so, and you remember this era. You were big there, you know, remember that, all that kind of fun stuff. A Canon XL2 or some small, a DV camera. And I would come out, and the car dealer would be standing on the top of the Ford F-150 saying, come on down here and buy one of these Fords from us right now. You know? Maybe even ride in on a horse, maybe, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. So that business is what became the foundation for Jumpstart Video Productions, because I love that business, and I love doing video work for small business, but the way we brand it is Mosier Media. We're trying to position ourselves as Let's do a higher end project. Let's sit down and talk about a script. Let's think about what the audience is. Let's think about what, before we go running into something. And I have Jumpstart Video Productions as a wonderful option for video for small business and for recording speeches and seminars and events and a lot of that kind of work. Tons of fun. I have, there's a Jumpstart in Columbus, one in Cleveland, and one in Pittsburgh. Comcast is real big with us in Pittsburgh, so they keep us. The idea with Jumpstart is if you're on the referral list with the cable company, because they don't have internal production. And on that topic, I will tell you, the one thing about our business we've learned is to be flexible. There are some companies that will hire us to do an entire production, and there are some companies that have an in-house department that just need our technical expertise. They just need this person, they need that person, and they don't need, you know. So if there is an in-house production department, we're happy to support that. Yeah, but Jumpstart's all over the place. I'll cut back to repros for a second because we're in the portion of this video where you can see the equipment. And we were having a discussion about this earlier as they're educating me on what it is that we're shooting and recording here. And the thing about repros color, the company founded in 1991 and the LaGuardia family purchased it in 1999. And like I said, they do all kinds of work. You can see here a behind-the-scenes operation of how repros color works. And to tour this place is amazing, because they have so many machines. They do so many. There are some production, print production houses that might have this type of equipment and have that type of. They have it all. So if you get an opportunity to see repros color, the downtown Cleveland location, of course they have a location in Akron and Canton as well, but the downtown Cleveland location is where it all happens. Is that a fairly accurate statement? That's where all the cool toys are. What we do here is, like I said, a very brief presentation, and then I like to open these up for Q&A. In the room today, we have a lot of brain power, a lot of people I've worked with for 10, 15, maybe going on 20 years. And with every business, you're constantly evolving. And I don't get a chance enough to hear from people. I have this idea of what Mosier Media should be. I know what kind of cameras I want to have. I know the kind of studios, and you know, I want to hire 3D animators. I want to build a big studio here in Cleveland. I want to do this. I want to do that. But what we really need to do is align our business plan with what people need from us. What are the trends? What do you need from a video production company?
I was going to go the other way and ask, what do all those things do for you? What's the vision that those tools help you accomplish?
Sure. Well, certainly our number one goal is to keep our crew working. There you go. There's always that. But yeah, that's true. You build all these capabilities. We certainly are capable of very high-end cinematic video production work. We have commercial photography capabilities. We have a 3D animator. We have a whole staff of video editors and all that kind of stuff. So what we want to do is build our capabilities to be in line with what people need. Any other questions about, yes, you know what, you can always count on. I will tell you one quick story. We were at a University of Akron football event when Coach Bowden came to the Zips. And somehow we got invited to their breakfast event. What was that? And the most intelligent question in the whole audience during the entire Q&A came from Carrie Warren right here, who happens to be the marketing person for this fine venue we're at here. So, yes, question from...
First of all, thank you all for coming today. But I would like to know from Mr. Mosher, how do we connect with you if we do want to designate with you?
Oh, gosh.
What are the multiple ways we can connect?
You can just come talk to me right here, of course. You can find me on Facebook. Right. VideoCleveland.com is the best site for seeing examples of all of this. Yeah, everything that you're seeing here is up on VideoCleveland.com. And the one thing I like about doing these events is I can't quite tell the entire story of these. You can't do the whole case study, or you can't do the behind the scenes of why we did this video or what the, you know. So I like to do these lunch events certainly because we're able to say this is what we did and this is how successful it was. But all of this is online at VideoCleveland.com. Well, yes, it certainly has. The future of video is very bright, driven by Facebook and YouTube and all of that. And the future of our business is to make sure we support it at any level. There is something to be said for social media video that is shot in a less than stellar production method. People with iPhones and T4Is and having fun and doing social media videos and behind the scenes tours of the company, that employees, maybe a marketing person that doesn't have a big budget, doing videos in-house. I want to support that. Video is a great tool no matter which level it's produced. For us on the Mosier Media side, on the perhaps what we're trying to build as the higher end, is to really develop the tools that those folks wouldn't buy. Or if there's an advertising agency or a company that has video production in-house, they wouldn't buy a jib, or they wouldn't buy a Steadicam, or they wouldn't buy this camera, they wouldn't buy equipment for shooting 4K quite yet. But they might need that once or twice a year. So they might call Mosier Media and say, you know what, we have some video production in-house that we do, but we need this capability over here. So I love clients that only come to us even once a year. No harm in that at all. So to be able to support that, to be able to support having the equipment locally and the capabilities locally for when people need it, whether that's 3D animation or whether that's the Steadicam or the, who knows, the 4K or the higher end cameras. There could be a production operation that's just regularly producing videos and they're doing a really nice job, but then they decide, hey, this one we want to shoot on 4K. So we're going to call Mosier Media and shoot it with their camera gear. And that's the future of our business, is to be able to support at all levels. And again, with Jumpstart, I like the Jumpstart option. And I go see folks all the time, and I walk into a meeting, and I'm not, you know how it is when you first walk into a client meeting, you're not sure what they want to do. And you don't want to say right out of the gate, hey, well, all right, what's your budget for this? You want to listen to what they want to do and then figure out what's the best production method to get it done that's going to maximize what they have to spend. So to be able to support at both levels, but brand it differently, so that people that, when they're watching our work out in the marketplace, that they say, oh, people do this all the time. Who did that video? I go into clients and I see a video that they did a couple years ago that they want to update, and they play us stuff, and I see videos that aren't so hot, and I say, well, whoever, and I don't comment, you don't say, oh, that video you did last week, that was terrible. We could do way better. You don't want to do that, but you're thinking, wow, I really had a lot of respect for that company. I can't believe that they did this. But that company's not there to defend themselves and say, well, we had to do it quick, we didn't have they just did it because they're in the business to do it. So, again, what I'm trying to do is say, okay, we need to support video production at all levels. And Mosier Media here and Jumpstart Video Production here helps us get that done.
Dan, you said you like to plan these videos out, some of these videos.
Some of these videos, yes. Right.
Videos. Do you have anyone on staff that can actually kind of strategize and help produce that video and make recommendations?
Yes. Yes, and thank you for asking that, because that leads to a very important topic, and that is our identity crisis. Are we a video production company, or are we a video production agency? I love the ad agency community. We do a lot of work for advertising agencies, and frequently they do all the hard part for us. They will write videos, we have a script writer, we have a person that can come up with the strategy of this, that, and the other, but we have to be very careful. Perhaps we're working for a marketing person who's already done that. So it's not only having the ability, but know when to go running in and say, hey, we can plan it all out for you, because you might have a client that says, I have it all laid out, I know exactly what I need to do, and I just need a camera crew and an editor. So to have that ability on our staff, which we do, but then know when it's needed, and know when the client's asking you just to come in and shoot and edit, and they've done all the planning and pre-production. So we kind of try to play it both a little bit, which can lead to I remember back in the day interviewing at a production company when I was 24 or 25 years old, and the person said, we will always be a service bureau. We shoot and we edit, and we will never have a script writer on staff. We work for agencies and marketing people that come in, they hire us to shoot, and they hire us to edit. And I don't want to ever be in the business of telling somebody how to make their video, what to do. We simply have cameras and editors, and that's what we do. They're not in business anymore today. I know where you were going. I knew that question. Yeah, they're out of business now, but that's okay. There's also a company that was in North Canton that I had tremendous respect for. And they were borderline agency. They had a wonderful staff. They did incredible 3D animation work. They did really high-end videos. And they were $60,000 for a project. If you walked into them with a $40,000 budget to do a 2-minute corporate video piece, they did not want to talk to you. And they're out of business. And you know, but they had a great run. They did 10 or 15 years where they did killer work. And they were a wonderful competitor, a well-respected competitor, but they really turned down anything that they just didn't want to do. They said, you know what, I don't like that script. I don't like the way that's going. If we can't say exactly how the video is going to turn out, then we're not doing the project. So there is that identity crisis. Are you a shooter and an editor for hire, or are you a media production company that's going to really advise your client? And it's a little different in every circumstance. And in my belief, the ones that really make it are the ones that know how to read the client, how to listen to the client, how to know this is the role we're asked to do. This is how to get the best possible result. Any other questions before I call Lou LaGuardia for a 45-minute presentation on Repro's color? Yes?
I wanted to make a series of YouTube videos, and I need a location to shoot at. Is that something I provide, or
That's an excellent.
find a location?
Thank you. See, this is why I hire people that are much smarter than I am to help keep me on track. In terms of a studio location, real estate is expensive, certainly. A lot of production companies that had big dedicated studio space had a hard time making it because certainly a lot of videos shot on location. The one thing that we have that of many that helps to differentiate our operation, we have a dedicated studio space for photography and video, and quite a bit of this done on location. This actually right here is shot in that studio space. We built a white cyc and a green cyc, so we have a room with we don't have to paint. If we want to do green, we go over to this side of the room. We want to do a white cyc, we're on this side of the room. But we do quite a bit of YouTube channel video work, and because of that, we need a dedicated space. And in some cases, we will do videos. Joanne Fabrics is a fine example, where we do a majority of their YouTube channel work is done on location, or in our studio, let's say, and they come in with their content experts, and they want to do a how-to sewing video. They'll do it in the studio. It's a 2-minute piece. Our cameras, our lights, with everything already there, so they can save quite a bit of money by just doing that in the studio. But then they want to mix it up, and they might say, okay, the next one, it's a little bit about some kitchen kind of stuff we're making, so let's shoot it in a kitchen. So we might go on location. But the one thing to remember, certainly there's always when we go on location and we're using somebody's house, we generally will give them a location fee or something like that, or our studio might have a little cost to it, but very important when planning a video project to think about the cost of the location. If there's a funny joke, I need to hear it. This is one thing of many that my dad and I have in common. Everything is funny. Yes, everything is. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We shot the Mr. Chicken commercials at my parents' house, and my parents have a beautiful farm, which we're actually working on another shoot for K Jewelers Friday at the farm. So that location is available at no charge. But at any rate, yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's a cost. Yeah. Oh, good. This ought to be good.
I have a question. For business owners, how do you, is it important that they do self-promotion type video that doesn't necessarily fit into a real strategy for advertising? And if it is, how do you convince a business owner that they need to do that?
Well, I always think I'm pretty good at convincing people to do videos. But one thing to keep in mind for a small business owner, that is, anything you do reflects your brand. And again, I'm a video producer. I'm not a marketing person. We're not an ad agency. So am I allowed to use the word brand? Am I allowed to tell anybody how to manage their brand? All I know is that I'm a part of this wonderful world of advertising, and so from being in it 20-some years, I've learned all these buzzwords and terms and all this, and brand and all that is the hot topic, right? Is the idea that whatever you do, it reflects on your brand. So if you're going to do something, do it the best you can. Because, like anything, people see that and they see the quality of it. And they see through it. Now, certainly with the example of Dan Caton showing the machine, that was well done. And Dan knows how to run a camera, and the guys went and did that, and they did a fine job. That doesn't harm the brand. It's a video on how to use a piece of machinery. Which one? Oh, the really good high-end Mosher Medical video? I don't know if we brought that. We probably should have. But if you're going to do anything, a printed piece, a postcard, an email, it's got to be done well. It's got to be the best that you could possibly do because it reflects your brand.
I used to think that too.
I like this already.
And I would, years ago, I would try to get advertisers to do something decent. And of course, they'd go to the cable company. The cable company would throw in the commercial along for free, basically, with buying the ad time. And it was so frustrating. And I would literally do commercials in 16 millimeter, filming quality. One was for a photo studio, and so
Sure.
really looked nice.
Right.
But getting them to do that is really difficult to do, and that was my whole pitch, was that if you're going to produce something and it looks like a cheap cable commercial, that immediately reflects on the quality of whatever product I'm trying to sell with that thing, or
Yep.
whatever you're trying to do. But at the same time, what if the whole thrust of the thing is that you're doing something low end on purpose and you know it? It's like a lot of the YouTube comedy type things.
Sure.
They spend a lot of money making it look like it's a piece of crap.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
like it looks like it's handheld, and then of course they'll CGI like an explosion into it, which it didn't happen in real life.
Sure.
But it looks like it is. So there's kind of a blending now.
Eh,
Old crap and nice.
That's what I like about this, doing these lunches, is I get a lot of feedback and it's really an open discussion. Certainly we're not going to solve the problems of all of the video production world and all of this. We like to present ourselves as high end and we want to do this, that, and the other. But in the world of cable TV advertising, there is a challenge because, and I did this when I was making cable TV spots for Time Warner advertisers many years ago. The challenge is the small business owner is only going to spend $4,000 or $5,000 on the media buy, perhaps. And I know there's a media buyer in the room that has a lot of expertise that could probably speak on this topic better than I can, certainly. But if you're only going to spend, $3,000 or $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 running the spot, and that's your advertising budget for the whole year on TV, you can't spend $3,000 making the commercial. You have to. That's just the way the math works. And there is a little bit of a calculation you have to make. How many people are going to see this video? What's the true impact on our business? So that's what I'm after, are those projects that perhaps they're, I like clients of all budget levels and sizes, and I'm not after all the Goodyears and the Davy Trees and all these kinds of things. But, there are some of those that can spend a little more because more people are going to see it. And you calculate a return on investment. There's no sense in spending $10,000 on a quick in-service video that only a handful of folks need to see. There's that challenge. Want to pop in the Davy Tree just for fun as we leave the... Any other questions or thoughts or...
How do you convince people the value of having videos as a web presence? Because you're talking about social media, and I think that 80% of this decision someone making to buy something is online. You're sitting on your computer, and then some people think, oh, it's a web video, it doesn't have to be that great, but really that's
I somehow weaseled my way into an e-commerce convention last fall in Chicago. And I sat through a presentation. Believe it or not, I actually sat through the whole 1 hour presentation, if you can believe that. And it was all about how video leads people to purchase the item on the site at a rate that is astronomical. And I'm in a room surrounded by a bunch of the retailers, and everybody in the room is responsible for that retailer's website. So the people from Gap.com there are on this side of me, and the people from Sterling and K.com are over here, and all the people from Abercrombie and Fitch.com and they're all, and the person is on the stage saying, I have the proof, I have the study that shows that when you have a video of the product, and it was using like a Black & Decker drill as the example, and the drill, there was a video of it, and then there was another section of the site that you could see every angle of the drill. You could click here and make it work. You could drill a hole through your screen. It was amazing. And so literally the click through to the buy button rate was like 3 times for any product that had the video next to it. And it's like, and I'm like sitting there, this is great. Then he went on to say, here's how you build an in-house studio where you can get the cost of making these videos down to about $100 per product. And I went, oh. But that's okay. That's what his company did, is they went into other companies and taught them how to do quick product shots in-house. So
It's like desktop publishing, though. It will come and go. The technology is there. People will start using it. They won't do it effectively. And eventually it'll come back to the professionals.
Hopefully someday. But again, there's a danger in presenting that idea because you have to watch the attitude. In other words, my attitude, I try to be cool about it, that I like it all. If this company's figuring out a way that they could show that drill and they've hired a whole video production team to come in and they're doing 10 videos a day and they've got the math right and they know how to do it, I'm all for it. I love video production at every level. I just really want these cool high-end projects where you can come in and write a script and plan it out and do a really cool shoot. That's what but you know what? I love them all. I love them all. And I really like the Q&A. Yes?
Do you have a list of food stylists that you've worked with, and have you done food shots with and without stylists? How do you see that?
I like it without stylists because the stylists always touch it and move it, and then you can't eat it afterwards. So that's but you know, I always like the restaurant shoots for the small restaurants, and Sean Martin is famous for this. He gets a free meal at every restaurant he shoots, and we do these. But in all seriousness, it amazes me what an art that is. And this is another thing about doing high-end work. Years ago, I did a TV commercial for Swenson's Restaurants, and they said, "Well, let's make the cheeseburger." We're shooting the cheeseburger in the kitchen, right? You know. We're in the way of the people coming in to serve the cheeseburgers, you know. And there is a studio in Cleveland that does commercials for Red Lobster, and they do the food shots, and they have the kitchen. Red Lobster ships all the new product over that needs to be shot, and they have the chefs there, and they have all these food stylists, and they literally, the food needs to go right from the oven to the camera. And they've got 3 or 4 stylists and the whole crew there. And they got more money in stylists than they do perhaps or just as much. So I tend to speak so long I forget the original question. But the idea that stylists certainly very important. That's, you know, we don't have that on staff. But
Do you feel you shoot as good food shots without stylists?
you have to have them. It's just like, I don't know why this has happened, but lately I cannot get anybody to pay for a makeup artist because it's an extra $500 or $700 for the day. Nobody wants it. And so you have the executive on camera and the shiny and sweaty and looking terrible. And how do you stop clients from saying, no, don't cut that out of the budget, that's going to make it look bad? But it's $500 or $700 for the day to have a makeup artist. They say, well, we could just bring some powder. So yes, all of that stuff is so important. But again, I love videos at all levels. If somebody, you know, I don't want to come across as dissing the people that shortcut or, you know, hey, we're just going to go to the restaurant and shoot the food as it comes out. I could probably do a beautiful shot of one of these pieces. You know, we could have our crew. But yeah, when we do the stuff for Kay and we got to have a makeup artist, but then you have to have the stylist to lay the product out. Very important. I'm probably preaching to the choir. You guys probably have been on those kinds of shoots, and you got it. Yeah, when it comes to somebody's product, you got to do the best you can.
You got relationships with all those people?
We do. That's the funny thing. After 22 years in this business, we've got people that know how to do everything. You know, I know more helicopter pilots than I ever thought I would need to know. But that's always fun. You take the doors off, you hang out the side. That's a good time. Yes.
Speaking of helicopters.
Ruh-roh. The drones.
Investing in the drones?
Yes. Yes. But here's the thing about this, okay? It's like anything else. Everybody thinks that you could just buy, if we just buy a camera and a computer, we're in business. If we just buy the drone, we can do beautiful aerial shots. Everybody forgets you got to know how to fly a drone. What do you take it out of the box and put a GoPro on it and you're flying over? No. You're crashing into planes landing at Hopkins and then they got to land then you're in trouble. So anything in our business that you say, we can just buy this and we'll be good at it and we can offer the service tomorrow. We're gonna, we've been working in commercial photography for years and we're just now starting to talk about it because we're now really good at it. But we started taking pictures 10 years ago. We bought a Steadicam. We spent a year working with it because you got to know how to balance it. So if we went and bought some drone or something like that, we would realize that the cost isn't in acquiring equipment. The cost is acquiring the skill and knowledge to use it, especially when a client is paying you. But thank you for bringing that up because that is the kind of thing we like doing, is getting the high-end tools, spending 6 months to a year working with them, and then telling our clients we have them.
The sad part is, though, that now the Mobi was at $10,000. Now they have a $5,000 unit, and another company's come out with one that's only $1,000.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now you're not only in competition with the high-end companies that can do it, you're also in competition now with these
Sure.
YouTube videos.
Sure. And the one other thing, I'll mention, too, is we do quite a bit of work in the nonprofit world, and that's we have a nonprofit discount in both Mosier Media and Jumpstart. There's always a challenge in the world of fundraising videos, which we are very heavily involved in, and that is they can't look too good. Because then the audience is watching this wonderful video explaining all what this wonderful organization does, and they're about to donate, and they think, well, I don't know if I should donate. They just spend, this looks like a high. So it's very important. It's always an important part of that speech and that event to say, and the video was provided in kind by Mosier Media, or, some sort of consideration provided by, that sort of thing. I love the work in the nonprofit world, and the fundraising videos especially. That's where we can have a great deal of impact, is when we can really help convey what some wonderful nonprofit organization does. So thank you all for the questions, and thank you for keeping me on track on important topics. So not that I'm all over. But any other questions about video production or what we do? Again, Lou LaGuardia would love to have a question about printing banners and signs and other things that Repros does, including, by the way, they're getting into digital signage. Repro's getting into the world of electronic digital signage, which is wonderful because then we can have displays all over. If you have a company that has multiple locations, all the displays throughout the company, throughout the world, can be controlled by their equipment. And that, of course, drives the need to make videos to fill those screens. So we're very excited about that. So.
Dan didn't really say why this wide format.